Blitzkrieg.
Before the day is out, the Nazis have occupied the town, which is still burning and in complete ruin.
What is the Blitzkrieg, and why was it so effective? First, we need to know exactly what the Blitzkrieg translates to and how it came to be. The Blitzkrieg literally translates into lightning war in German. That's no pseudonym. Technically, it's called the Bewegungskrieg, the War of Movement, but for the sake of my pronunciation and your understanding, we'll be calling it the Blitzkrieg. The Blitzkrieg is a combination of excitingly deadly technologies combined to wreak havoc. First, panzer units. A unit of men in a light tank called the Panzer would attack the front lines. Multiple of these units attack at once. The tanks attacked swiftly, boring holes in the front lines. Other land units followed the panzers through the holes to enact the next part of the process. The land troops moved quickly, including two flank units that consisted of only infantry. The land troops surround the enemy, constricting them to a small area. The same troops cut off communication lines and train tracks, eliminating most chances of backup. The panzers board the holes in the front lines, now drive around, launching rounds, killing and destroying anything that they can. There's one last step. Once surrounded, planes fly overhead, dropping bombs in the area, wiping out all that may have survived in the last two waves. Germany now owns the sky, meaning if somehow a stress signal got out and air troops went to help, you'd be immediately mowed down. Germany has cut off all chances of reinforcement. At this point, their goal is complete total annihilation of the enemy force. Now, it's important to know this. Germany believed in two types of warfare, positional and mobile. Positional would mean mostly defensive, hiding in trenches or bases, shooting out. Mobile being quick and destructive, costing little money and saving lives. This is what the Blitzkrieg is. Now, it's also important to know that the Blitzkrieg wasn't created because someone had a really dark and bloody imagination and spent their days thinking of how to destroy a nation in a few days. Well, no. They based it off other tactics used by various nations in various time periods. The closest to Germany is the Prussian War tactic. Prussia was a country, and then Germany took it over, and it was dismissed in 1945. However, in one of their earlier wars, since they used to be the strongest country around for a long, long time, they had barely any resources and any money. So they decided that they would, no matter what, if they were being attacked or attacking, they would surround the enemy troop, not anything about speed or precision, just surround the enemy troop and destroy them. This is why the proper name for Blitzkrieg is Bewegungskrieg. But again, Blitzkrieg is more agility, which it gets from another group of warriors. Now, there's more background to this one than Germany took them over. America propagandists called Hitler a Hun. And the reason they called this is because thousands of years earlier, Huns ruled over Europe just like Hitler wanted to do. However, Hitler didn't take this as a joke. He took it as a compliment. It made him stronger. So he got to researching and started studying war tactics. Even after taking the speed and precision of Hun warfare, there was more to it. Hitler thought about the pain, cost, and torture of the trench warfare of World War I, seeing how he fought in it. So he decided to go with the mobile tactic, which would save them money because Germany barely had any money or resources. So that's why they decided to go mainly off the Prussian war tactic. Now there could be hundreds of other inspirations for the Blitzkrieg. One of them could be the Zulu Empire, for all we know, who at one point, when they were their strongest, would surround their enemies and bombard them endlessly. And if some died, they'd call some from their reserves, which they had hidden away, to support. And the reason why there could be so many inspirations is because the surround and destroy tactic is so effective that it's been used for thousands and thousands of years. If you were to ask a historian about the blitzkrieg, they would most likely say that it was a barbaric and simple tactic. Propagandists played it off like that during World War II. However, if you haven't picked it up throughout the video, you notice that it's not. Put together by stitching multiple war tactics together swiftly and surrounding the enemy and modernizing it to work with the newly created panzers and guns and Luftwaffe, which was the bombers slash air force, it creating total annihilation of the enemy force, causing a nation to give up in a few days, if not a week or two. And it wasn't a lazy, barbaric way to win a war. It was necessary because Germany didn't have the resources and money to do anything else. I've answered most questions about the Blitzkrieg, especially some of our main questions, but who created it? Well, the creation of the Blitzkrieg is often given to Heinz Guderian. But as it was crafted from many different tactics, its basics came from a man named Alfred von Schlieffen, who created a tactic that was used as the start for the Blitzkrieg. Even then, Heinz took some ideas from another man named Hans von Seck, who came up with the war tactics after World War I. And still with ideas from von Seck, who created them after World War II, he got the idea of using panzers from a man named John Frederick Charles Boney Fuller. Fuller was an Englishman, and he realized the potential of using lightweight tanks in warfare and how effective it could be. However, for most of it, he was ignored by England. However, someone who didn't ignore him was Heinz. He learned through Fuller's writings how effective light tanks would be and implemented the panzers into the Blitzkrieg. And that's the final ingredient that Germany used in the death stew that they were creating. Now we have everything. We know the Blitzkrieg was when panzer units would punch holes in the front lines, letting the flanks and German front lines surround the enemy and cut off any chance of backup, while panzers destroyed everything in their path. And after that, planes cleared the areas as kings of the skies. We know it was used against the Allies for total annihilation, which worked on essentially all of Europe, but America found a way around that. And last but not least, we know why it was so effective with the fast and precise movements of every tank, plane, and infantry. Hi, I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you want to know my citations, they will be the first link in the description, and my script if you want to see the spelling errors and how much I improvised, which was a lot. That will be the second link.